Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I have to confess I am not recording this actually on Sunday. I'm recording it a couple of days beforehand, and that is because today I'm hoping I will be in Stratford to make this live edition of Cracking the Cryptic. Many of you I'm hoping to actually meet for the first time there, so I hope that's gone well. I hope whatever puzzle Mark and I were faced with we managed to solve. And yeah, I hope, as I say, I hope anybody who did turn up has enjoyed it and thought it was worthwhile. Anyway, so I say I'm recording this early. It's a puzzle called Little Killer Counting. It's by the great Marty Sears, and I believe Marty is intending to be there in Stratford today. So hopefully I will have met Marty for the first time as well, which would have been a great privilege for me. And this puzzle is called Little Killer Counting. It seems to be about counting. It's a bit like the circles rule, but with arrows. That's the way I'll describe it. I'll read the rules out properly in a moment or two's time. It's got an enormous rating on Logic Masters Germany. Of course, all Marty's puzzles do. And yeah, I'm sure it will be a lot of fun. Now, let me just look at my list of things to talk about. Well, one thing I will mention. This video might appear to be an hour late for some of you because we've switched over to daylight saving time in the UK, the end of British summertime, last night in the middle of the night. And that means that I guess if your clocks didn't change in the last 24 hours, this video will appear to be late by an hour, I think. And I'm sorry about that, but there's not a lot we can do. We tend to keep our schedule to 8:30 UK time, and it has been that way since the start of the first COVID pandemic. So that is why this video may not seem on time, but to me it really is. And I've got loads of birthdays to do today. So why don't we move on to those? I mean, I will just mention on the 1st of November, which is just around the corner, we do have the Duality 2 Sudoku hunt coming from the Skunk Works over on Patreon. That is a magnificent set of puzzles. Mark and I have been testing them, and they are absolutely brilliant. So do look out for that. It's going to be epic. But apart from that, let's do birthdays. Aaron, it's your birthday, and I know this because your brother Aidan wrote to us. And I think, Aaron, you're in Dubai at the moment, doing research into mechanical engineering, perhaps. And I believe you're trying to make sure that you get a decent chocolate cake. And the two brothers have both watched for 5 years. That is absolutely brilliant. Aaron, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great birthday today and you do secure the chocolate cake. Next, Iris. Iris, it's your birthday, and I know this because your partner Albert wrote to us and told us that you shared your birthday with Odessa the cat. I presume that's a cat that lives with you. I am not sure. But you watch every night before bed. Well, I hope when you get this message it doesn't wake you up too much. And you like fog of war puzzles. Well, I haven't got one of those for you today. But in my experience, Marty's puzzles, they fog up my brain. So it's a bit like fog of war for me. Next. Oh, Iris, you turned 27. Is that right? Because Max, it's also your 27th birthday today. And I know this because your big sister Nadia wrote in and told us that you both watch, and that last year you were upset because she hadn't written in about your birthday. Well, she did do it this year. And Max, I hope you have a great day today with, of course, a large slice of chocolate cake. Next, Sally. Now, Sally, I know that you were hoping to be in Stratford today, so I wished you a happy birthday at 10 o'clock this morning. And that I signed your O'Bobbins mug, which I think you were hoping for as well. Anyway, Sally, I hope I've already wished you a happy birthday. Let's see. Next, Stefan. Stefan, you've turned 32 today, and I know this because your girlfriend Michelle wrote in. And you're a doctor in neurology in Drammen in Norway. That is absolutely brilliant. And, well, Michelle's guaranteed that she's sorting the cake out. So, Stefan, I hope you had an absolutely brilliant day today. And actually, Michelle also told us that you find that our videos make a chaotic world make sense. which I thought was a rather lovely way of describing whatever feelings it is we might introduce into the world. And then finally, Whitney. Whitney, you've turned 21 today, over in New Orleans. I think you're there for university. And you said that our videos help you to appreciate the little things in life. So, Whitney, thank you for sharing your kind words. And I hope you have an absolutely brilliant 21st birthday today. Now, let's see what Marty Sears has in store for us. I've got the right glasses on, haven't I? I think so. These are the rules of the puzzle. We have got normal 6x6 Sudoku rule supply. So that means we've got to put the digits 1 to 6 once each in every row, every column, and every one of these sort of 2x3 rectangles that we can see sprinkled throughout the grid. Look, we can do some colouring. Why don't we do some colouring to make ourselves feel chromatically adequate? Look at that. It's absolutely splendid. And then we can get rid of all the colouring and move swiftly on. Next, digits along a diagonal marked by an arrow, sum to the digit on the arrow if one is given. That must mean if a digit is given. Right, so those 3 digits sum to 9. Those 3 digits sum to 8, and those 2 digits sum to 7. And every other arrow doesn't have a number. But it then says that any digit along an arrow diagonal indicates exactly how many arrow diagonals contain that digit. E.g., if there is a digit 3 somewhere along an arrow, let's put a digit 3 there, somewhere along an arrow diagonal, I should say, then exactly 3 arrow diagonals contain at least one 3. At least 3 arrow diagonals contain at least one 3. Okay, well that's okay. That is a bit weird, actually. So, all right. So I will just elaborate slightly. I hope this doesn't count as solving, but this is just what I'm taking from the rule here. So it's not saying that all the diagonals together only contain 3 3s. It's not saying that. It's saying that 3 distinct arrow diagonals contain a 3, but there may be multiple 3s on any one diagonal. So that's quite a different thing, actually. Okay. When I read the rules before I turned on the webcam, I had not understood that properly. Anyway, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play Let's Get Cracking. I say let's get cracking. I really don't know what we're going to do to start this. So presumably I have to... I don't know. What I was planning on doing was highlighting all of the diagonals in the hope that that sheds some light on the situation. See, that's immediately interesting. That cell is on 2 diagonals. What does that mean in the context of the rules? Any digit along an arrow diagonal indicates exactly how many arrow diagonals contain that digit. So does that mean this can't be a 1? I think it does. Because if this was a 1, then surely this arrow diagonal would contain a 1, and this arrow diagonal would contain a 1. So 2 arrow diagonals would contain a 1, and that is wrong, I think, if I understood the rules correctly. Oh, wait a second. Right, so hang on. Almost, do these have to be 6s? Or is that not right? Almost all of boxes 2 and 4 are covered in green squares. So, no, I've got to be really careful here. I've got to be very careful. I'm still, because of how I originally understood the rules, I'm still thinking that if I don't put, what I'm thinking of is that if I put 6 on a diagonal, I've got to put 6 sixes. I've got to put all the 6s in the puzzle on diagonals. Oh, so actually that is true, isn't it? So if I do put 6 on, a diagonal, then there are exactly 6 different 6s, or exactly 6 arrow diagonals contain a 6. So you couldn't repeat a 6 on a diagonal. Oh, unless it was... Oh, hang on, now I'm really confused. How many diagonals are there? There are 7 diagonals. So if I do put a 6 on a diagonal, 6 of these 7 arrows have 6s on them. So would that have to be a 6? Is that what we would be saying there? Oh, no, actually we wouldn't, would we? That's not necessary at all. That's not necessary at all. Oh, no, that nearly worked. Ah. Well, okay. Okay, let's continue to think about 6s. Sorry, I realised I just stopped talking then. I'm trying to understand how to think about this puzzle. I'm doing a terrible, terrible, terrible job of it at the moment. I think I've started off this puzzle on the wrong foot in that I didn't understand the rules correctly, and it's really thrown me. But if I do put 6 on any one diagonal, I have to put 6 6s, and there are only 6 6s in this puzzle because it's a 6x6 Sudoku. I can only put 1 6 in each row, so there are only 6 6s. So 6 of the 7 arrows would have to contain a 6. Now, one thing I'm mulling over here is it's quite difficult, but not impossible, for both of these arrows to have a 6 on them. This 9 arrow and the 7 arrow. I could put one on the 7 arrow, but then obviously if I do put a 6 in one of those 2 squares, then in order to put a 6 on the 9 diagonal, it couldn't go in these 2, so it would have to go here. So there's 2 6s would actually go there. And that is interesting, because if I do that, then at least I identify the 6 diagonal that doesn't have a 6 on it. Oh, that's all. Ah, no, right. And now right. Okay, now I've got something. Now I've got something concrete. 6 is not a digit on a diagonal. So my original idea was correct, but totally for the wrong reasons. Okay, I can now prove. This is really very clever. I shouldn't be. I'm not surprised. It's just weird. Right, 6 is not on a diagonal in this puzzle, because if 6 is, 6 6s have to be on different diagonals, and I can prove that's impossible, because if I do, what's the maximum number of 6s I can include in those squares? Let's start off with that. And I'm going to claim it's impossible to put 3 6s in on those 3 diagonals. This diagonal, this diagonal, and this diagonal. And the way to do that is to start off with these 2. You can put 2 6s on these 2, but to do so, the 6s would have to be in those 2 precise positions. And if they are in these 2 precise positions, you cannot put a 6 on this diagonal. It is impossible. So what we're saying there is these 3 diagonals can accommodate a maximum of 2 6s. But we know in the puzzle overall, if 6 is on a diagonal, it must be on almost every arrow. There's only one arrow that it couldn't be on, and we now know that must be one of these arrows. And that means that this must contain a 6. Well, okay, where am I putting the 6 on there? Well, actually you've still got to be a bit careful here. Because what we're not saying is that it's absolutely necessary for those two squares to be sixes. We're simply saying it is impossible for those blue squares to contain 3 sixes. That is what we are saying. So there are 2 sixes in here. There would need to be 2 sixes in here. So there would need to be a 6 on this diagonal. But I'm not sure we would know where it went. There would need to be a 6 on this diagonal, and that would have to go there then, because we need to put a 6 on this diagonal and this diagonal. So this is the only place. Now, that's very interesting. So now we can iterate back to the 7 and the 9 diagonal, which were those squares, weren't they? And given that we have to have a 6 here in this paradigm, how could we put 2 sixes on the 7 and the 9 diagonal? We no longer can. It's impossible. So we've now worked out this would have to contain a 6 as well. But that 6 could be in any one of those 3 positions, I think. But let's carry on. There would have to be a 6 on this diagonal for sure. That would have to go here. And now I can't put a 6 on the 8 diagonal. It's really quite involved, actually. It's quite involved, that logic. But what that means is that it is impossible to put 6 on a diagonal in this puzzle. And given that, I must be able to put a 6 here and a 6 here. We've just proved we can't have 6s and a 6 here. You can't put 6s on any green square in the puzzle. So 6 in box 3 is in one of those squares. 6 in box 5 is in one of those squares. 6 in box 6 is in one of these squares. Now, hang on. now I've got a different question. I'm now thinking about 1 in box. Yeah, the 1. Oh, okay. So there is a 1. Here is a knowledge bomb for you. There is a 1 in box 2 of this puzzle. I don't know where it goes. It goes in one of those squares. Now, wherever it goes, it is going to be on a diagonal that is the only diagonal in this puzzle that can contain a 1. That is the nature of a 1 on a diagonal. That is saying there is one arrow diagonal that can contain a 1. But you can see in box 4, the 1 is also diagonal, isn't it? So that means, let's get rid of my blue shading. What that means is that the 1 that is in box 2 is on the same diagonal as the 1 that is in box 4. Yes, so the 1, yeah, okay, so the 1 in this box can't be on the 7 diagonal, because then the 1 in box 4 will be on a different diagonal. So the 1 in box 2 is in one of those squares. Yeah, actually this is lovely. Right. Here is a good point. The 1 cannot be on the 9 diagonal, because if the 1 is on the 9 diagonal, given it has to be on the same diagonal in box 4, it would be here, and then 2 of the digits on this diagonal would add up to 2, because there would be a 1 here and a 1 in one of those, and the other digit would be a 7 by mathematics, and that's wrong. So this is a 1. There is a 1 in one of those 2 squares. Now you don't have to put a 1 here. You could do, and we might have to, but we don't have to put it there, because in box 1 it could be in the corner without being on a diagonal. Right. So the 7 diagonal is either 3, 4 or 2, 5. Oh, well, hang on. Can I not just do maths on this? Don't I know what those two sum to now? Sorry, of course I do. These have got to sum up to 7, don't they? Yeah, there's a secret associated with little Sudokus, little 6x6 Sudokus. It's something I share with only my very favourite people, and only occasionally, because I know I often share the secret of big Sudokus, 9x9s, but the secret of a small Sudoku, a Sudoku that only contains the digits 1 to 6, is that those digits sum up to 21. Now, if these sum up to 21, that's 3 lots of 7, but those two sum up to 7, and these two sum up to 7, and that means these two sum up to 7 on a 9 diagonal, so that is a 2. And that doesn't do anything, does it? That's one diagonal that has a 2 on it. And there could only be another diagonal, one more that has a 2 on it. How many, here's another thought actually, how many cells full stop are green? 5, 6, 10, 14, 20. 20 cells are green. But that cell is double counted. That's on 2 diagonals. 20. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means 20. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. That is odd though. That is odd. Because that doesn't tally. If you can't put 6 in a green cell, and you can't, then oh no, I'm going back to the rules as I first understood them again. I was just thinking that I could put a 5. Well, yeah, if we think about the triangular number for 5, 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 15. So, yeah. So imagine there was no repeats on diagonals. Once I put a 5 on a diagonal, there could only be 5 5s on diagonals, couldn't there? If there were no repeated digits, and then if I put a 4 on a diagonal, there would only be 4 4s on diagonals. Again, no repeated digits. But that would get me only to 15 effective green squares. And here I've got at least 20 and possibly 21 if I have to double count that. So I think that there has to be an awful lot of repeatage on along these diagonals. I mean, you can have a lot of repeats though, can't you? You can actually have, oh look, you could have loads of repeats on this one. So you could have 2 repeats on there. You could have 2 repeats on here. It's 4. You could have a repeat on there, 5. Repeat on there. Yeah, there's at least 6 opportunities for repeats. You might have to, maybe you have to have 6. Hang on. Hang on, before I worry about that, what about trying this 8 diagonal? That hasn't got a 1 on it because of this one. So there must, right, okay, well there must be a repeat on this diagonal, because if there wasn't, given there can't be a 1 on the diagonal because there is only one diagonal that contains a 1 and it's this one, then if this was different digits, it would be a minimum of 2 plus 3 plus 4, which is 9. So there is a repeat along this diagonal, and it's a repeat of this digit then, because these two can't repeat. So this digit is 2 or 3. It can't be 4, because if you repeat a 4, the other digit would have to be a 0 to get us to an 8 total. So this is either 2 repeated and a 4, so these would be a 2-4 pair, or 3 repeated with a 2. Right, okay, so that's interesting, because that means we've capped out our 2s. What do I mean? Well, whether this is 2 or 3, this diagonal always contains a 2. So that means this diagonal and this diagonal are the 2 diagonals that contain the digit 2. Right. So this is brilliant, actually, because now where do I put 2 in box 2? If I was to put it on the 7 diagonal, that would be a 3rd diagonal containing a 2. So I've got to repeat the 2 on the 9 diagonal. So these two are a 2-5 pair. These two are a 3-4 pair. And there can be... Well, hang on a moment. Oh, this is right. Okay, and then we're away, aren't we? Because now, what do we do with 1 and 2 in box 1? Now, I can't put them both in this square, but I have an absolute prohibition now on putting 2 in a green cell in box 1. Because if I put 2 in any of these cells, it's on a new diagonal. The only diagonals we're allowed to have 2 on are those 2. They are not coincident with any of these cells. So 2 must go in the corner. That's a 3. And now 1, this is lovely. 1, which can only appear on one diagonal but must make an appearance in box 1, must be on this diagonal. So this is lending to my theory that there are a lot of repeats on these diagonals. Now if this is 3, these 2 squares have to add up to 5, so they've got to be a 2-3 pair. There's a 2 and a 5 here by Sudoku. There's a 2 down here by Sudoku. This square is 3 or 4. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's slightly overzealous, isn't it, to do that? Well, although it's not really, that can't be a 3. Yeah, maybe that's the simpler way to see it. That can't be a 3 because we've got, let's just draw some lines in. We've got a 3 on that diagonal. We've got a 3 on this diagonal. If we were to put a 3 into row 1, column 2, there would be a 3 on that diagonal and a 3 on that diagonal, because don't forget this little cell is on 2 diagonals. And that would be 4 diagonals that can contain a 3, and that doesn't work. So in fact, that square I think has to be 4. That's 5, that's 3, that's 4, that's 3. We've done the top 2 rows. That's 3, that's 2. We can probably... Can't we do 1 in this box, actually? I can't put 1 on another diagonal, so 1's got to go in the corner. That's going to sort out my 6's. Look, there we go. Can we sort out 1's? Just, yes. Where's 1 in box 6? By Sudoku, it's in one of these 2 squares, but we know it can't appear on a new diagonal, so it's there. I must be able to do them all now. Yeah, there's another one there. This is a 2 by Sudoku. These are a 4-5 pair. These are a 4-5 pair, but that's resolved. So 5, 4, 2 here, 3. Yeah, this is going to go, isn't it? 4, 3, 5. Oh, that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Okay, so something is going to have to disambiguate this, or I've made a bad error. How many 4s have I got on diagonal? I've got that 4 is on 2 diagonals, isn't it? That's like so that's 2 diagonals. 3, 4. Yes, that's beautiful. Right, okay. So if 4 was not here and it was here, it would be on 5 diagonals. Because don't forget, this is on 2 diagonals. So it can't be there, it's got to be here. 4, 4, 5, 5. Now, what I haven't done is check that 5s work. So 5s should be on 5 diagonals. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they are. 4. And then that one, 5. Yeah, it's just brilliant. That is just brilliant, isn't it? Marty Sears, again, just strutting his stuff. What an interesting puzzle. How long does that take me? Half an hour. I loved that. Because, again, it's so original. You have to think about it and try different things. I wonder if I was right. Do you have to max out your repeats on diagonals? Oh, actually, it's more complicated than I thought. I have repeated twice on that one. I've repeated once on that one, which is my max. So those two are maxed. There is a repeat here. And there are two repeats on this diagonal, which is, I think, what I thought. I think I had to get up to 6 repeats altogether, didn't I? 2, 3, 4. I think I needed 6 repeats, and there are 6 repeats, but this diagonal is very complicated because it's got a repeated 3 and a repeated 4. But I think it could, in theory, have had three 4s on it, for example. If that had been a 4, you could have achieved the same number of repeats by repeating 1 digit twice rather than 2 digits once. Wah. I don't know. Anyway, that was my way of solving it. Let me know in the comments if you came up with any different ways. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.